It's Championship Sunday here at the Pacific Coast Open at the Pacific Indoor Bowling Club in Vancouver, BC. And we are here to bring you quarterfinal action from the Pacific Coast Open. We have a great matchup for you this afternoon between the rinks of Paul Choi and Lorraine Choi up against the young team of Nathaniel Hoy and Jillian Poon. My name's Bill Curry. I'm here along with Shane O'Flaherty, and we're midway through what's been a great championship Sunday already with the Bruce Matheson Open Singles finished and decided.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things where you have such an exciting sort of championship final there with Will Hall and Jerome Kirby, and then you realise, hey, there's still a ton of great bowling to come up today, and this is going to be an intriguing match because it's like you say, it's a battle of experience versus sort of youth essentially, and a couple of newer bowlers in Jillian and Nathaniel coming up against a couple of experienced professionals.
Yep, and it's been a great tournament so far for the young pair of Nathaniel Hoy and Jillian Poon, advancing out of a very difficult Group A. And up against some very experienced bowlers, which also included the team of Will Hall and Kim Sawyer. Will Hall, the Bruce Matheson Open Singles champion, after winning a thrilling tiebreaker earlier this morning. And he's still active, actually. He still has money to play for. He's teamed up with North Vancouver's Kim Sawyer, and he's in a quarterfinal match against a rink that consists of Pat Bird and Zoe Chan, so that's back on rink 1. But our focus is on rink 4 this afternoon, and lots of action coming our way. And a good crowd on hand here at the Pacific Indoor Bowling Club for the inaugural Pacific Coast Open. $15,000 in prize money on the line, with the winner of the mixed pairs taking home $3,000.
Not to be sneezed at. I think it's great to have genuine money being put up in these tournaments, and just kudos to all the sponsors for getting in there and supporting this, and everybody who's been involved in organising it, because it is really great to see. It just gives another edge to it when there's money on up for grabs.
Teams are just finishing up their trial ends right now, and we will be back in one moment after a word from our sponsors.
The Pacific Coast Open is brought to you in part by IGA Robson Street. Conveniently located in the heart of downtown Vancouver and close to numerous hotels and venues. Proud to offer an in-store butcher and full-service deli. The Pacific Coast Open is brought to you in part by Trace Natural Alkaline Spring Water. Tastes as good as BC looks. Bottled at source in beautiful Bridesville, BC. Deliciously soft and ridiculously refreshing. The Pacific Coast Open is brought to you in part by World Financial Group. Let Derek Gann and Rachel Wong help build your wealth strategy. Your life insurance and financial service professionals.
And we're just about ready to get this quarterfinal match underway. We were just waiting for the bell. And there it goes. We are ready for action as Lorraine Choi will kick things off for us here. Choi heading a bit deep, about a meter and a half away from the tee, as her partner Paul Choi sets the jack. And we're underway. Lorraine Choi will be sporting the dark red bowls up against her opponent Jillian Poon, which will have a pink bowl. While the two skips, Paul Choi is also rolling a pink bowl today, and Nathaniel Hoy will be in black. Scheduled for 14 ends. pair of good opening lead bulls there in the back, fulfilling the number one requirement of every skip from their lead, which is make sure you've got something in the back.
I think we can expect to see lots of really sort of strong draw bowls from both Lorraine and Gillian. I think these two will really push each other.
And leads are important, but they have played a particularly strong role for the teams that have advanced to the knockout round of this league so far, or this tournament so far.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see with some of the teams you see on the next screen. Kerry Mann's playing with Rainbow Lung, and Jim Dolhoki with Linda Ing, and Linda skipping and Jim playing lead. So it's not something you see often, Jim playing lead.
And Lorraine Choi's last lead bull is spot on the money. Just a little off the jack, but nicely done.
She was getting the applause from Paul pretty much from the moment she delivered the bowl, so he knew it was a good one.
Here come Gillian Poon's final bull, taps the jack backwards, and to her advantage it looks.
Yeah, I think we've got another good one on our hands.
And a little high five, or a little low five there, I think, from Nathaniel Hoy to his partner as they change ends. So, really good start to the first end.
Yeah, so Gillian's the reigning provincial indoor singles champion. Very new bowler, but comes from a family that is full of superb bowlers.
As Paul Choi starts off with his first skip bowl. Paul and Lorraine Choi advancing out of Group B in this tournament. Once again, another strong group that also included the team of Pat Bird and Zoe Chan, who also advanced to our quarterfinals. And Nathaniel Hoy just tapping that lead bull from Lorraine Choi to the back. And Paul Choi's opening bull just crosses the center line and drifts off.
Jack Gutchin? Is it Jack Gutchin the ball? Okay, and the ball for the Jack? And the shot ball.
And Hoy comes behind his first bowl. And Paul Choi wasting no time, delivering his third bowl here. Now with the lead bowls of Gillian Poon being pink, along with Paul Choi's, that's a great shot by Choi as he just misses the jack. Should note that both Gillian Poon and Paul Choi's bowls are pink. You can differentiate Paul Choi's bowls with the big white circle on the side, while Gillian's decals in the middle are a bit darker red. So not as difficult to keep track of, but still don't want to cause much confusion here. And Nathaniel Hoy comes in nicely wanted to try to rest up against that bull, I think, there, Shane.
Yep, I think he was trying to sort of get in there, and I'm not sure couldn't quite pick how many Gillian indicated there. Might have just been a single?
Well, we shall see as they put up the score, and it is just 1 point, but Nathaniel Hoy and Jillian Poon open the scoring here in the first end. And once again, we're seeing something quite typical that we've seen throughout the morning, is that the points are earned. They do not come easy. So one at a time might be something we see a lot of here.
Yeah, I think the concentration is just to keep on winning ends, and if you can add more than a single to it, then great. But winning the end is the prize, and if you can keep on doing that.
And a nice straw bowl from Jillian Poon to open the second end.
Yeah, Nathaniel very happy with that one.
It's a team of young bowlers, Nathaniel Hoy and Jillian Poon, that have come to the forefront very, very early on in their long bowling careers.
Yeah, Nathaniel's really thrown himself into bowls in a big way, and he's had quite a bit of success already, and he's just a very sort of classy player. For someone young and who isn't terribly experienced, he's very cool, calm and collected. Lovely young guy. Pleasure to play against him. I can say on the occasions that I've played against him, he's just really, really focused on this game. I think he's going to go far.
And he has certainly come far in this tournament. Lorraine Choi's second bowl. And drifts a bit far, but not a bad spot.
Both these ladies have got their line down very good. This looks like a spider drill from the leads.
And both of these leads have been excellent at giving their skips lots to work with and lots of options. As the third bowl settles just off to the side, and Nathaniel Hoy nicely set up here. As the third bowl from Lorraine Choi comes in, and that'll just be about looks to be about maybe a foot and some change in front of the jack.
Yeah, so I think it's like a good situation for Nathaniel here. He's got, a couple of solid bowls in the head there from Jillian, plenty for him to add to. But Paul Choi is a very good draw bowler. He'll be confident that he can outdraw that shot of Jillian.
Nathaniel Hoy coming in with his first bowl, and this one's looking pretty good as he comes in and taps the jack backwards, and it is surrounded by nothing but his team's bowls at the moment.
Yep, I think they're holding 3 there at the moment. And, I think there's still the open side there that Lorraine's just asked Paul to come down that forehand side.
And there is room to draw, that is for sure. And that's exactly what Paul Choi is going to do. Is he just wanted to clip in on the inside of Nathaniel Hoy's bowl. Cuts them down considerably.
Yep, it was only a matter of maybe half an inch there, and he would have had the absolute perfect bowl. But still good. You cut him down to 1, and that's good start.
And Hoy sends one to the back.
I think that's a wise move. Anyone who knows Paul knows that Paul has a very strong upweight game. He can be very accurate with his weighted shots.
And say he's coming in with a bit of controlled power here. Maybe looking to nudge it directionally, but this is off the line. And probably wanted much more from that.
Yeah. It's one of those shots you just, as a player, you just have to forget that last shot and just try and do better next shot.
And you talk about Nathaniel Hoy being a very calm, collected character out there. For all of that, he makes up for it in fashion sense.
Absolutely, I love that shirt. We need to see more of that in bowls.
Say a far cry from the stodgy old days in bowls where, nothing but all whites.
I've only started bowling since I came to Canada, but I grew up in New Zealand, and it was just very much all whites and black bowls when I was watching bowls as a young fella. I think it's a better game for having all the colour added to it.
Here's Nathaniel Hoy's final bowl of the end. It's coming in a bit wide, but it does cover off that side of the ditch.
Yeah, I think that might have been on purpose. I think he is worried about Paul connecting with this one, so he's got both sides covered.
So Paul Choi with some choices to make here as he gets ready to deliver his final bowl of the end. Can certainly take some chances here, but this is coming in just right for him. Oh, it just knocks out his own bowl. Once again, just a couple of inches here and there, and this end turns out a bit differently, but now it's a question of how many here. We've got 2 put aside already, and we'll measure for a third or more here.
Yeah, so just a little unlucky there. He was definitely holding second shot until he knocked that out.
Both of these are Gillian Poon's lead bowls, and it's the dark red bowl in the back that they'll be measured by the looks of things. But they have settled the score back here, and it is 2 to the rink of Nathaniel Hoy and Gillian Poon as they take an early 3-0 lead. And a little applause from Nathaniel Hoy. More encouragement, I would think.
Yeah, it's an okay bowl, but it's I'm not expecting this to be part of the count by the completion of this end.
Well-positioned back bowl to open things up.
Rain's managed to pick up the shot and cover the tee with the same bowl, so well done.
That being said, with only 3 bowls per player under this format, some of the players have expressed the fact that, just like Gillian Poon showing here, you really have to make every shot count because there's only 3, and you could get put under pressure in an awful hurry.
Yeah, I think the less bowls you have, the better player it makes you. You get forced into that, not getting lazy with it.
And an almost identical shot just a bit farther. Good guess as to which bowl is holding at the moment.
Yeah, slightly favouring that bowl of Gillian's, but hard to tell. That makes it easier.
And that makes it much easier.
Thank you, Gillian. She's a very accommodating lady.
And Lorraine Choi's final bowl of the end. And a repeat of really all 3 of her shots, more or less.
You got to say she's consistent. That's,
Exactly. So from this angle, looks like Gillian Poon's lead bowls are 2 of them appear to be holding at the moment, possibly 2 or 1 in a measure.
Yeah, I think maybe that last bowl of Lorraine's is maybe, it ended up sort of heading onto one of the others and sitting behind that one of Gillian's. I think that's probably challenging for second shot.
As the skips take over here in the third end. Nathaniel Hoy, and that's a beautiful draw, just behind the jack, and gets the kind flop.
Yep. It's pretty much exactly where you would have wanted to put it.
And Paul Choi, just a bit farther, but joins his leads bowls.
Yeah, so definitely 2 at the moment only for Gillian and Nathaniel, but we're looking to add to that.
I'm going to try and come down the ditch side of this rink. And once again, playing a bit defensively here, just making sure that the back is covered.
Yeah, I think that's a sign that that Nathaniel's been really well coached. And I've sort of noticed this with him from the beginning, that he's a very good thinker.
This is good for Paul Choi here. As
Lovely.
just perfect controlled weight, direct hit that knocks Nathaniel Hoy off the jack.
That is a Paul Choi classic. That's what he does all the time. We'll see a lot more of that in this match, I think.
And Hoy's final bowl. Off the mark to the back. And Paul Choi with an opportunity here to maybe grab a second. And this one's going to come in wide, and it will be 1 to the rink of Paul Choi and Lorraine Choi, but they are on the board.
They're on the board and they've got the mat, so they'll be happy. It's you just build and build and build into a 14-end match. You just sort of make sure you keep yourselves in it. They've done that.
these are 14 ends. I mean, we say, okay, well, 14 ends aren't necessarily a very long match, but over the course of doing it 4 times a day, 3 times a day over the course of a week, and most of these players have also played in the singles tournament as well. You have to wonder, so many, like I was saying, over the course of a week with these players, playing so many games over a short period of time, and you're wondering if this is where fatigue might start kicking in.
I think you got 2 aspects. You can have a bit of fatigue to it, but you can also sort of like the more and more you play, the more you get in your groove, and I think this tournament's been well spaced out, alternating between the singles and the pairs, and so I think no excuses. I think there's enough matches, especially in the pairs, to play yourself into form, as Lorraine's showing right there.
Very nice lead ball from Lorraine Choi to open up the 4th end. And a fine reply from Jillian Poon.
This is what we want to see.
That'll take the tee.
Good defensive bowl. Not sure if it's what she was trying, but you'll take it.
Even if it isn't what you exactly want, it still serves the purpose.
And, especially with Paul having that ability to play those really good controlled weight shots, it's always good to have something in the back.
And this is looking good for Lorraine Choi. Just past it, but still, fine effort.
Yep, it's a good spot. It's a good catching sort of a spot in case that jack moves. Nathaniel looking to get Jillian to get one down to match that back bowl of Lorraine's, which I think is a smart move.
And instead we'll draw right to the jack. And Nathaniel Hoy is quite pleased with that.
Yep, it's the old skip trick, is you call one thing and try and get a defensive bowl in, and then you get your lead just drawing. And it's like, well, I'll take that anyway. I'll put the deep bowl in myself.
So a bright start from the leads here in the 4th end. And Paul Choi will try to respond here, as the jack is surrounded by pink bowls at the moment. That his will not join them.
But he's got his line now from that one. He knows what he has to do to adjust to get it in there.
Good weight, and that's a nice Bowl didn't stick as much as he wanted to, but pulls one of Gillian Poon's bowls away from the top of the head.
Yep, it looks like Gillian and Nathaniel are holding 2 at the moment.
Yeah, just having a look from our broadcast position, could be quite close for that second bowl. And this one's veering off as well. Joy with his final bowl, and he's coming in hard on this one. Oh, and he nails it bang on right towards the ditch. So the jack is in the ditch. The pink bowl closest to the jack here, right here, is Gillian Poon's lead bowl. So that appears to be what is holding here, although we do need to see where I didn't quite catch if Paul's bowl joined them in the ditch or not.
I don't think so, because I think Gillian just tapped her head twice to indicate that they had 2 shots.
And so this turns into an open draw for Nathaniel Hoy as he tries to play towards the ditch. Looks like it might be a bit too much as it falls into the ditch, and he shows his disappointment in that.
Yeah, I think just trying to do too much there. Really, he just needed to draw to the where their second shot was and just get in on that rather than try for perfection. But no, you can't ever criticize someone for trying to be perfect.
No, absolutely not. And in the end, they still come out with the point, or points, and took advantage of the opportunity to extend their lead to 5-1. Still early days here, though.
I'll take a 5-1 lead anytime. It's always better to be in front. It's looking like a pretty good battle on that next screen there with current national team member Linda Eng against former national team member Carrie Mann.
From Gillian Poon, settles right behind the jack.
That's a really good spot.
And Lorraine Choi, with what looks to be a good draw here, will tap the jack. Little toucher there, and
It's a fantastic reply from Lorraine.
Nathaniel Hoy calling for a draw that would hopefully tap the jack back further or clear Lorraine Choi's bowl there. Just off target, but in a decent spot in the back that gives Nathaniel Hoy lots to work with.
Yeah, I know Gillian's been working on her upweight game, and she does have a good sort of solid sort of drive and weighted shots in her arsenal, and she's just getting better and better with those.
And Lorraine Hoy putting up a bit of protection there for that bowl that's up against the jack.
Yeah, I think Paul will be very pleased with that because it cuts down Nathaniel's draw options, then makes it a bit harder for him to draw on that hand. He's going to have to come the other side and play the backhand.
We turn it over to the skips now. The rink of Nathaniel Hoy and Gillian Poon off to a 5-1 lead as Hoy was going jack hunting there.
Yeah, interesting approach. I think it's a very narrow sort of line that he's got there with where Lorraine's bowl is. I think he might be better just coming with full weight, just coming straight rather than trying to be absolutely perfect there.
And Paul Choi's opening bowl. Once again in the back. They own the three bowls at the back at the moment, and still about a meter ahead of the tee line though. He's going to try it again this time. Makes no contact with the bowl up top.
Very close. Very, very close. Shot running, I think.
That's two of his three bowls out of play.
Yeah, I'm not. Oh, and Lorraine's bowl's just fallen over there, and it's maybe opened it up a touch. Paul's got another one in the back now.
See if he's trying this again. And just overcompensates, but at least it is in the back, and may or may not own the tee, but at this point, Paul Choi with an opportunity to maybe score two. Could be one in a measure even right now.
Yeah, I think it's. I sort of favoured the one at the back of Gillian's there, but it is close. I think Paul's got the option of either sort of coming down the forehand and trying to knock in Lorraine's one and go with it to create a three, or just drawing on the backhand for two.
An opportunity here for Paul Choi. Going to stick with that forehand side, and it'll just sail past the house or the head. Sorry, didn't mean to introduce a curling term.
Yeah, I think there's so many lawn bowlers who are curlers as well that it's a captive audience. It's the number of times when I'm playing where curling terms will be introduced.
So the rink of Paul and Lorraine Choi pick up at a point there in the end, and they narrow the lead.
Yeah, it was a good solid end from them. They put a lot of bowls in a lot of good places and made it just that, particularly when you're playing younger, sort of less experienced players, you want to make it as hard as possible for them, and they did a good job of that.
So 5-2 for the rink of Hoy and Poon after 5 complete. Lorraine Choi's first bowl, nicely placed.
Great start.
Little push on Jack. Good.
And Jillian Poon with a fine reply. Tapping up, leaning against the jack.
When Jillian gets into this mode, when she gets those touches, she quite often follows up with something very similar.
It's en route and just runs out of gas at the end.
Starting to feel like the open singles final. For accuracy of these bowls, it's fantastic. I'm just hoping that Jillian puts another good one in. Sort of, I haven't put the curse on her. I'll take the blame for that one. Apologise, Jillian. I'm sorry.
I'm quite sure she's unaware. And this is coming in nice from Lorraine Choi. Just it gets a knock, but and Nathaniel Hoy isn't convinced they're holding.
Yeah, it looks 50-50.
Jillian Poon's final bowl, accurate, just a bit long, and but in all, that Jillian Poon bowl in the middle of that sea of red is quite important right now.
Very important, yeah. There is, there's obviously going to be the temptation for Paul to try and just give it a little nudge. That's all he really needs. He can push it back 2 feet, and they'd be holding possibly 3.
See if Paul Choi is tempted to try and knock it out. He's going wide to the ditch side.
Just hasn't given it enough.
Yeah, just needed more weight, but that's a perfect line.
It was a perfect line, yeah. Yeah, Paul is a great tactical sort of thinker in this game. He's always thinking 2 shots ahead, at least.
Hoy is coming in and just gives that back red one a gentle tap that certainly puts them in a position now, and they appear to be holding. They could be holding two.
I think probably holding two, and completely changed the sort of how that head was, and so it went from being dangerous to really Paul just wants to draw in on top of those now.
This one is breaking pretty much the same way as Paul Choi's last one, although he gets a friendly wick that brings him at least inside the head.
It's still very open, so
There's Nathaniel Hoy again. Just point out that it's Gillian Poon's pink bowl that's closest to the jack right now that is holding. As Hoy's bowl settles up at the top.
I think Nathaniel will be happy with that one at all. He really wanted to get something in the head.
That forehand side is wide open at the moment. And that's exactly the direction that Paul Choi will go.
Yeah, particularly on this rink on green 4, you can get out very wide on that, and it'll come home sort of with a big dog leg finish. But you've got to be brave enough to get right out on the edge and risk going into the ditch.
So Nathaniel Hoy now with his last bowl has a big opportunity to take 3 points here. Look, they appear to be holding 2. I mean, of course, we got to wait for the count and measure and see what the players agree upon. Oh, and the ditch on the on his left-hand side swallows yet another bowl in this tournament. It is one of the features here at PIBC where you've got 4 rinks that have side ditches, and they are the bane of existence for many a player here.
My Henselite Classics that I first started playing with here indoor, they loved those ditches. They just loved them, and my peers partner at the time, Alex van der Bos, who was playing in this tournament, she sold me a set of very narrow bowls, which was her subtle way of telling me, you're not good enough to use those classics yet in here. So.
Yeah, my first season at PIBC, I thought I could get away with my perfectly fine arrow grooves, which are a wonderful bowl outdoors, but in this environment they are just far too wide. You'd have to balance the ditch just to get it to the center.
Yeah, there are some people here that can play with the very wide bowls and make them work. Many years back, Vince Mai was playing Pat Bird in the final of the national singles championship, and he played with Henselite Classics in the semi-final, which are about as wide as you can get, and then played the final with Henselite Alphas, which are about as narrow as you can get. But it's only magicians like Vince that can do that.
And I should add as well that our sponsor Arrow Bowls makes a fine selection of narrow bowls that are very well suited for the indoor game. It's just weren't the bowls that I owned at the time.
Yeah, I think the Arrows have brought a completely new aspect into, when they were just coming in when I started bowling, and it's, they offer a different sort of experience than the, traditional bowls. A lot of the top bowlers in the world bowl very well with arrows.
Rain Choi's first bowl is the difference so far in this 7th end.
Lorraine's really warmed into this match. She started out, pretty good, but she's been getting really close bowls sort of for the last 3 or 4 ends, and when you're playing someone as good as Gillian, it's good to put that pressure on.
And I'll also mention as well that beyond prize money here for the players at the Pacific Coast Open, there's also raffle prizes as well that were put forward by our sponsors, and there is a player who will be walking out of this arena with a new set of arrow bowls before the end.
They don't include commentators in that draw?
They did not.
Yeah, I've been eyeing up a set of grooves for several years now. I think I'll probably have to lock and load pretty soon.
That being said, our friends at IGA have done a good job feeding us. So, not much in this so far. Lorraine Choi's red bowl is the one that's clearly holding, but the skips have so many options here.
Yeah, big open head, plenty to play with, but it's a really solid sort of shot bowl of Lorraine's. It's going to make it hard.
Just a few inches off the jack itself, but look at this. Nathaniel Hoy's coming right after it, and he connects, and he does it.
That is a beauty. Wonderful bowl from Nathaniel.
Choi's opening skip bowl. Down 7-2, but you're getting close to that halfway mark of the game, and so you might want to start making your move sooner than later.
Yeah, I try and leave my move until the very, very last end when it's impossible to win. That's my classic move. But I play a very good last end. If we just played one end, no, actually, that doesn't work either.
Nathaniel Hoy following his bowl in, and it parks behind.
Yeah, so I was remembering back to the one-end tiebreakers at Provincials a couple of years ago, where I think I lost 3 out of 4 one-end tiebreakers. So.
Paul Choi not happy with his delivery right off the top, and we'll see where it ends up. And yes, he wanted much more out of that bowl, although it didn't turn out too badly for him.
Yeah, so just a decision for Nathaniel to make with his bowl of which hand he plays here, whether he just draws on that hand he came in before, or if he tries to sort of sit Lorraine's bowl out again on the other hand.
So these two bowls, the red and the pink bowl, as you can see from our mouse cursor, are part of the Choi rink. So Hoy has to be a bit delicate when being around the jack at this point.
Daniel, we're on a time limit. We're on a time limit.
And Hoy comes to the outside. If Choi can move Nathaniel Hoy's bowl away from that jack, he'd be in a very good position to finish this end.
That could be a real game changer. It's having a go.
Not quite on target, hits the traffic in front. And the rink of Nathaniel Hoy and Gillian Poon will add one more to their total here as they jump ahead 8-2 at the halfway mark of the match.
On the next green, Jim and Linda are currently tied 6-all with Carrie and Rainbow after 5 ends. just in front of us, Malcolm and Marie Taylor from North Vancouver are currently leading Jordan Cos and Aussie Chambers, both national team members, 6-5 after 7 ends. So a real close one in that one as well.
Gillian Poon's opening bowl.
It's an unusual one from Gillian. I'm not used to seeing her drop that far short, but I'm sure she'll correct it as the end moves on. See if Lorraine can take advantage.
Umpire's busy on rink 5, but focus on rink 4 as Lorraine Choi settles right behind the jack. And better from Gillian Poon this time.
Good correction. We see a good number of the seats filled today, but the majority of the fans are actually sitting in the club area, watching the match through the windows, and it's a good idea because it is quite chilly out here. We saw many players on Friday wearing sweaters and parkas, and for a while you would not have been out of line if you thought you were in a hockey arena. So Gillian's got the back covered, I guess, there. Lorraine looking to draw another one in.
And Lorraine has been strong in this match, but this has been her best end so far. This is quite something, as this is going to give plenty of headaches for Nathaniel Hoy.
That's just a superb end there from Lorraine. And she's just been warming up and getting better and better with each end, and that's what you want to see as a skip.
So we're about 50 minutes into this match as Nathaniel Hoy comes in with power and just misses as it goes right through the head.
Well, he gave that plenty, and if he had connected, it would have been the folks on the next green might have been in danger.
Choi's bowl veers off, and Nathaniel Hoy's going to give this another go, and much more successful this time. The jack is knocked out of play and will be respotted at the 2-meter mark from the ditch, but not everything he was looking for, but most of what he was looking for.
Huge
there.
Improvement of the head for sure. Yeah, really, really good.
Choi delivering his and that bowl is enough to hold, so Paul Choi holding one at least, possibly two. We can't really get a good look at the difference between that red bowl and the pink bull in the back.
It's tough to get a line on those two. It looks pretty close, but Paul's sort of put it out of question there with that bowl of his who's going to get shot. And Nathaniel just in the ditch again. It's hard to adjust back after you've played two heavy shots.
So once again, Paul Choi with an opportunity here, possibly to draw in there for two, possibly three. Maybe knock that back bowl from Julian Poon away as well. We'll see what he does.
If he can just replicate that last bowl, then I think I'll be more than happy.
And it's a draw as long as it does not tail off. It looks to stick, and so looks like two to the rink of Paul Choi and Lorraine Choi as they narrow this lead a bit. 8-4 after 8 ends.
Yeah, and I think the big difference has been sort of Lorraine putting the pressure on up front there, and you know, even though Nathaniel sort of had the good drive there, there's, you know, she still had plenty of bowls in the head to you know, make sure there's no real pressure on Paul.
I mentioned that we were about close to an hour into our match so far, and it's worth remembering that there is a time limit to these matches. It was an hour and 40 minutes during the group stage. It's only stretched to an hour and 50 minutes for the knockout stage, so we haven't had a lot of delays in this match or need to measure or call on umpires, but you know, it's always important to remember that time is of the essence in these matches.
Yeah, like the other two matches on this side are both only on the 6th end. On the other side, the rinks 1, 2 and 3 are all on the 7th end currently. So this match is the fastest for sure.
And a pretty significant number of matches have not gone the full 14 ends throughout this tournament. So, you know, quick play and efficient play from the players is very important in this format.
Yeah, I was sort of watching sort of some of the coverage earlier in the week, and of course not live because I was working, but yeah, I was seemed to be around about 8 minutes, and the end seemed to be fairly normal. Which, you know, should give you plenty of time, but you know, when there's measures and people coming down to the head, you can get, you know, 10-minute plus ends. Lorraine not quite as perfect as she was on the previous end, but still very consistent. She's got bowls in there.
Yeah. It's a game that reminds you are still only, as well as you do, you're still only as good as your last shot. And Julian Poon with another back ball.
Getting the clap from Paul there.
And a little bump and a little roll, and that is a nice result.
I'm sure that's exactly what she was trying to do. Anytime I get a wick, it's planned, and I'm sure it's the same for Lorraine.
And appears from our camera angle to be holding two.
Yeah, and I think Gillian just wants to get something in the head here, just to, you know, take the pressure off Nathaniel. Well, she improved on the weight, but not necessarily the line.
But they own the back and have one off to the ditch side, so.
Yeah, and we know Nathaniel likes to throw weight, so think Paul's going to be wanting to cover that.
As the skips and leads change ends. As we get to the business end of the ninth end.
Yeah, these guys have been sort of very quick with their changeovers and getting straight into it, which is really good.
Once again as it settles up against his leads bowl at the top right hand side of your screen. Nathaniel Hoy wasting no time and delivering his first bowl of the end. And it joins his leads bowls at the back.
They've got good coverage there at the back. If they can use it. It's
and a much needed back bowl there.
It's almost perfect.
Choi.
Yeah, very good bowl from Paul.
Going to come in.
Just a quick update from Rink 1 where Will Hall and Kim Sawyer are playing Pat Bird and Zoe Chan. Pat and Zoe are leading 8-4 after 7.
Final bowl from Nathaniel Hoy, who needs to get something in there, otherwise they may be surrendering 2 more points here, maybe 3. And this is going to once again go long, and the lead that Nathaniel Hoy and Jillian Poon have been enjoying is getting narrower and narrower now that we've completed the ninth end.
Yeah, it's, what is it, 2? Yeah.
It is 2.
So it's 8-6 that Nathaniel and Jillian lead by, but it's been, the last 3 ends have been all dominated by Lorraine getting some great bowls in up front and putting the pressure on, and it's she's doing a great job of that.
And better your lead bowls, the more options you have to score points in this game.
So Lorraine putting the pressure on again, and Jillian, not a bad bowl. It's a decent position, but Lorraine holding shot.
another back ball.
On rink 2 at the moment, the McDonald's from Alberta are playing against James Chen and Anita Lee. Currently, after 8 ends, Anita and James are leading 11-8 against John and Jen.
And I should mention as well that we are keeping a bit of an eye on rink 3 at the moment, where Malcolm and Marie Taylor are taking on Jordan Cos and Ozzy Chambers. The winner of that match will face the winner of this match in the mixed pairs semi-final coming up at 3 o'clock p.m.
Looks like Jordan and Aussie have just snuck into the lead. I think they're 7-6 up after 8.
Yeah. Actually, I should correct myself. The winner of this match will face the rink of either George Sitt and I just lost my schedule here for a moment. So,
So
we'll get that
George
information for you.
At the moment on that one, George and Esther leading 6-5 against Alan Wass and Vivian Chen after 8 ends.
Thank you.
It's a tight matches all round. As you'd expect, all these teams are obviously coming through in great form.
Paul Choi with his opening bowl here. They've done well to narrow this lead to 8-6 and have a bit of momentum going in their favor at the moment.
I think the key thing there too is that they were down by a bit, but there was no panic, no concern. They just concentrated on bringing themselves back into the match, and they've done that.
That's a classic difference between the experienced players as well, is that they always know how many ends are left, they always know how many bowls are left, and they always know what their opportunities are to get back into games. So you're right, they don't panic when they get down a few.
I think there's some of them, just thrive on that as well, because they've played long enough that they trust themselves to be able to do it, and so often they do.
Oh, Nathaniel Hoy, who has been very, very good in this match, needs to refine some of that early form. The last couple of ends have not been kind to him.
Oh, look, I think all of us go through sort of patches where, we have little ups and downs. I'm currently going through a 3-year down patch, but I'm pretty sure I'll come back from it eventually.
There's always time.
Yeah, it's a good thing about lawn bowling. It's a sport you can play in for, as many years as you have. There are some wonderful players in their 80s and even 90s out there.
And Nathaniel Hoy's final bowl of the end. Just around the back, and it's a little too wide. And they'll sort out the points. Looks like it's quite possible that the rink of Paul Choi and Lorraine Choi may have 2 here, but we'll see when they put it up. And yes, we are even at 8 apiece after 10 ends, or going into after 10 ends in total. So
It's a 4-end shootout now.
the comeback is complete, and I should point out that if these teams are tied at the end of 14 ends, they will play a 1-end tiebreaker, and nothing's more tense than that.
I think the tough thing here is so often when you have a team that's been catching up, sometimes when you do catch up, you can take your foot off the accelerator. But with these two being so experienced, I think there's little chance of that. I think they'll just keep on trying to win ends.
And with prize money on the line for the teams that advance, they always have that extra incentive.
I was talking to Will Hall after his victory earlier, and Will was saying that it was just sort of, it's not about the money, but it's really nice to have that there, and it does give a different, it just gives that little bit of extra incentive.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, no one's ever going to make a living lawn bowling at this period of point in time in Canadian lawn bowling lore.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's that little cherry on top of the sundae here.
Yeah, I sort of, after I'd won my first ever prize money in a tournament, I went home and told my wife and kids that I was a professional lawn bowler now, with my $50 that I'd won from my tournament. So I'm sticking to that. It's
And well, some of this prize money helps pay for your club fees every year. I mean, not that club fees are horribly expensive in Vancouver, but nothing is free.
I think we get terrific value for what we pay.
Tremendously so. And nice bowl there by Gillian Poon.
Courtesy often of so many great volunteers at clubs that make things so much cheaper than they would be if we were paying somebody to do them. So
The quality of volunteers, and I'll also add that the quality of volunteers here at PIBC, especially over the last week, has been outstanding. And this tournament could not be made possible without them, from the folks that brought the sponsors in, to the people who organized the tournament themselves, and the volunteers who tirelessly work in the social areas and the kitchen areas here as well, trying to make this experience as wonderful and comfortable for all of the participants.
yeah, I'm trying to remember a time when I've come into this club when Nancy hasn't been in the kitchen. One of my fellow New West bowlers, and people like her, they're just gold. They add so much to what we have within the lawn bowling community, and just all the markers and our umpires, all the work that went into this building. This area is looking just fantastic with the new paint job and everything that's been done here. So many volunteer hours to get that done, and it's well worth it.
Meanwhile, Paul Choi's opening bowl fails to remove any of Gillian Poon's perfect line there with the jack. 1, 2, 3 bowls in a row. It looks nice anyway.
It's a perfect formation. Yep. Yeah, I think Paul really just wants to get something in that head, and let's see what Nathaniel does.
Daniel coming in on the forehand is going to nudge Gillian Poon's bowl as well, and it's good to see Nathaniel get back on track here.
Even if he has ruined the symmetry, but he's added to the count, which is more important. Paul just wants to get something in that head.
We're in the 11th end, scheduled for 14. And Paul Choi's bowl just veers off at the end.
Yeah, it was a good weight. If he can replicate that weight.
performance by Hoy.
That is terrific bowling from him.
It comes at a clutch time after giving up the big lead, knowing full well that we're in the crunch time of this match where every point will count.
Yeah, so it's a question here of whether Paul plays conservatively and just tries to draw in amongst those, or whether he has a go at it. He's equally adept at both of those sort of capabilities.
As we mentioned, 3 pink balls surrounding the jack are also Gillian Poon. And he is coming in with the power, trying to break things up. Makes the contact and may have been the beneficiary of this in the end.
I think so. I think that one of his just out to the side there. It's a bit hard to tell on this angle, but I think those are. There's Lorraine's one there, and I think that's another one of Paul's at the back, isn't it?
It is Lorraine's off to the side, so that would be one. Paul's is off to the back too, so
Yeah.
that could be interesting. It all depends as to whether Nathaniel Hoy's black ball up front here is equidistant to this one. So
Really tough to see from this angle, but Nathaniel's got the chance here to.
yeah, the players are looking at it and they have an idea, but Nathaniel Hoy has one more bowl here to try and change the complexion of this end. But that's a huge bowl by Paul Choi this late in the game. And Nathaniel Hoy's going to duck right in there. He nudges it. Now, it looks like the jack is in play, and yes, Nathaniel Hoy steals the point on that one in a very difficult situation.
That is a clutch shot for a young player like himself. He backed himself to get through that gap. Just absolutely perfect, and Gillian's looking pretty pleased with him.
Still quite a nail biter here. 11 ends in the books. It's 9-8 for the rink of Nathaniel Hoy and Gillian Poon over Paul and Lorraine Choi.
Yeah, across the other greens, Carey and Rainbow have gone up to a 14-6 lead over Jim and Linda after 9 ends. So that one's sort of probably the only one of the matches where there's a big lead.
Which is kind of expected right now. I mean, once you get the knockout rounds, you've got the best of the best on the go, and there should be a lot of tight games at this point. And we've got a barn burner going here.
Oh. It's certainly been the case that sort of the leads and the skips they're all playing the part in this. Like, we're getting some really good lead bowls, but then the skips are changing the heads and making stuff happen. It's great.
Opening draw bowls.
Very close between those two, and yeah, good start from both leads.
And Poon with the second back ball.
It's hard to fault any of the players in this match. They've all had some really good ends.
And a Nice second bowl from Lorraine Choi. Holding and in the back.
Don't think she could have put a better bowl in than that. It's fantastic.
And what a response from Jillian Poon there. That is fantastic stuff.
It's a really good end. Both of them are just pushing each other to laying down the challenge. Saying,
And at the exact time of the game, you need to do it.
yeah,
And Lorraine Choi's final bowl at the end. Yeah. You can ask for so much.
yeah. I think we all have those moments. As a positive skip, I'd be telling her that her weight was perfect.
Yeah. At the same time, lots to be happy about on both sides, I think, as the skips go to work here in end number 12.
Yeah, I feel like that shot bowl of Gillian's is, Paul will see that as a target.
It is precariously open.
Yeah, and we'll see what Nathaniel can do.
And if you hear some banging here at Pacific Indoor Bowling Club, it's due to the fact our location here in the building that we're in is in the basement, and on top of us is the excellently run and well-known Phoenix Gymnastics Club, where, of course, being a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, be quite active with tons of kids practicing and tumbling and jumping up and down on our roof.
And the weird thing is that if after you've bowled here for a few years, you sort of stop hearing it.
Yeah, and also say it's a bit of a testament to our overhead camera installer, Harry Weeb, who did such a fantastic job wiring up our overhead cameras that the Gymnastics Club isn't shaking it, making it look like we're in an earthquake zone.
Yeah, there have been times when I've been playing here where you do wonder sometimes. It's like, how do those tiny kids make so much noise? But that's kids for you.
Here's Paul Choi's second ball and connects with the jack but does not move it. And unlucky for him, as he delivered a fantastic shot there that just wasn't kind to him. There's an opportunity now for Nathaniel Hoy. And this one a bit too narrow, and for Paul Choi, that's a pretty significant opening between those two black bulls at the top.
Yeah, I think the way that he played that last one, I think he's going to try similar. He's now got that nice bowl sitting waiting for him to nudge the jack back.
Last bowl of the 12th end, and he is indeed coming in with power. And we'll see if it connects, and unfortunately it does not. Just in the back. And once again, the points will go to the rink of Nathaniel Hoy and Jillian Poon. And they add another to their total. It is 10-8 with 2 ends remaining in today's match.
They've done a really good job of just being solid in these last couple of ends and getting themselves back into the groove and back into the match. And so still a very open match.
Yeah, at the same time, there's no need for Paul Choi or Lorraine Choi to start looking for big numbers or trick shots or big ends. They still have 2 ends remaining, and all they need to do is win each end.
Exactly. If you win both ends, you're right in it.
But at this stage, you also have to be a little bit conservative as well, because if you give up multiple point end here, and then you're hitting the panic stations for the 14th end.
This is very good.
And nice opening bowl from Lorraine Choi. Very consistent from Jillian Poon.
Skips will be happy. There's nothing blocking the head at this stage.
And matching that consistency, Lorraine Choi.
Yep, and this has just been really good, consistent bowls from Lorraine, and Jillian's not far behind. Like she's been very good too. But especially the second half of this match, Lorraine's, I think, been in the ascendancy.
Point out that we are at the hour-and-a-half match point of this match. It's looking pretty good. We're going to get 14 ends in, but still have to be cognizant of the time.
Yeah, most of the greens are looking. I think there's one match that's on the 11th end, but the rest of them are 12th end or beyond. So I think they're all looking reasonable to make it through.
So, in the end, last 2 bowls well out in front, pretty much blocking that side of the green. And it's probably going to force both of these bowlers to their forehand side.
I think so, yes.
And that is a great draw right off the top by Nathaniel Hoy.
Just the same as he did coming this way last time. He's just put a clutch shot in with his first bowl and really changed the head.
Just resting up on that Lorraine Choi bowl. Paul Choi will send his to the back.
Yeah, I think Paul got caught in between wanting to do 2 different things and ended up with neither.
And Hoy builds the pressure by adding a second.
We don't have the team.
Pressure's on for Paul now.
We have the team. We have.
We're in the 13th end. Scheduled for 14. And that's nice from Paul Choi as he bumps right off and gets that first position behind the jack. Just used Nathaniel Hoy's bowls to his advantage.
Got a little spring in his step then as he came past the head. and well deserved.
Can I drive at it? I just don't.
Big final bowl here from Nathaniel Hoy. He's bowled incredibly well, especially in this end. See if he has another trick up his sleeve. And just too narrow and far. So Paul Choi here, holding one, opportunity perhaps to tie the match going into the last end.
Yeah, if he can just replicate that previous bowl, just put more or less the same place.
You're holding. Be nice to get another one in there.
And it's narrow, but still gets a good result as they pull one more closer to the rink of Hoy and Poon. So we're going to go into the 14th end with everything to play for as Nathaniel Hoy and Jillian Poon have a 1-point lead over Paul Choi and Lorraine Choi.
Yeah, fairly simple sort of for both teams here. For Nathaniel and Gillian, they just need to win the end and they're good. For Paul, Paul and Lorraine, if they win the end, great. It's at least going to be a tiebreaker. If they pick up a multiple, they can win it.
So a spot in the semifinals on the line over the next 6 bowls.
No pressure.
Bright start to the end for Lorraine Choi. Midway between the jack and the tee line.
In the battle between the Taylors and Jordan Cos and Aussie Chambers, it is going into the final end. It is 12-11. The Taylors are leading that match.
And I should state that earlier I misspoke when I was trying to describe the bracket and the ramifications of these matches. I'm not 100% certain as to who will face who after this semifinal. But at the moment, the 14th end, there's business to be taken care of here, and I'm sure these players aren't worried about it either.
Oh, absolutely. I think Gillian's got a nice first bowl in there. Lorraine's looking just a bit heavy here again.
That back bowl and holding 2.
Yeah, that could be an important bowl. That's a good spot to have it in.
And Lorraine Choi has done all she can do over 14 ends, and she has done quite well as she finishes up all of her work in regulation here.
And and who knows, she might, all going well for them, they might have a 15th end, depending on how this rounds out.
Jillian Poon with her final bowl at the 14th end.
1 second.
This one with a slightly more weight, but it's going to just fly in there.
She's done a great job there.
Yep, excellent. And they may be holding 3. Important to note, though, that you only need 1 this end.
Yep. Yep.
And now this quarterfinal match will come down to the skips. Paul Choi enjoying, although not holding, enjoying a bit of advantage with owning all the back bowls in this end. And the first shot will tap Jillian Poon's lead bowl back. And Jillian Poon appears to still be holding. Looking from this angle, and actually I can see it from our broadcast position that Jillian Poon's still holding. That was a very interesting opening bowl.
Yeah, well, he's opened up that head. Let's see what Nathaniel will do here.
This one's heading in. Is it going to touch? It will touch and will hold.
Playing with fire there, but he did well. Still open, very open for Paul.
And he's coming in with power. He wants to break things up here. And he's going to contact something, and he breaks up the back, but all that remains now are the bowls belonging to Jillian Poon and Nathaniel Hoyes, which is holding right now.
Yep. Got everything but the girl there. It was an interesting shot. I still feel like that head was pretty open for a draw shot. It's, the weighted shots are always a little bit of a lottery, as that one showed.
Being his second shot, probably chose to gamble there and knowing full well that he might have a chance to draw in, but Nathaniel Hoy with his bowl right past the house, but puts it in the back, which is a nice safe spot at the moment.
Yeah, he's just playing it very conservative, and fair enough.
But this is the match right now for Paul Choi. He must be holding after this bowl.
Good effort.
And once again, he's coming with power. This is all or nothing for Paul and Lorraine Choi. And it veers off to the side, and we have a winner in our quarterfinal. Nathaniel Hoy and Jillian Poon got off to a great start to this match, but looked like it was getting away from them in the last few ends, but they hold on and prevail over an excellent performance from Paul Choi and Lorraine Choi in this quarterfinal. And it will be the young team of Nathaniel Hoy and Jillian Poon advancing to our semifinal here at the Pacific Coast Open.
A terrific match from both of them. It wouldn't have been a surprise for either team to win, but just very good effort from Nathaniel and Jillian just to regroup after Paul and Lorraine got themselves back in, tied it up, and then they just got the foot back on the accelerator again and just did what they needed to do to win. And both sides played really well, but I think they were the better side in the end.
We have completed the third of 5 matches that we're bringing to you today on YouTube from the Pacific Coast Open, and we will be back with you once again in less than half an hour for the continuation. We will have the semifinal round of the Pacific Coast Open mixed pairs, and if the last 3 matches are any indication, they've all been crackerjacks, and I think the best is still yet to come somehow.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much for tuning in and joining us. I'm Bill Curry for Sean O'Flaherty. Thank you so much for joining in, and we will be back online on the stream in about 20 minutes. We're signing off this stream right now, but we'll be launching a new stream for the semifinals of the mixed pairs of the Pacific Coast Open. So sign off, find the link. We'll see you in a moment.